forget to turn my light on. Happy day 9 of 30 days of courage, visibility, and angel medicine. My name is Jill Kempner, angel coach, alchemist, and author of Receiving from Your Angels, and I'm happy to be here with you. So before getting on today, I sat because my soul said, sit and get quiet and get clear. So I sat and I breathed and I just slowed down and really got clear about what to share today, and I think even this week, which feels really good. So I wanted to talk about how I got into the angels. A little more specifically, like some of my first angel encounters, angel experiences. And before I do that, I just want to say now who the angels are, because I realize as I'm talking about, my gifts and my medicine and the Angelic Alchemist membership, which opened up, the wait list opened up yesterday, December 15th. And all that information's on my website, jillkempnerhealing.com. I was like, we need to talk about who are the angels, right? Who am I talking about when I'm saying the angels are here? And call on your angels and receive from your angels and all of that. Like, we really want that to be super grounded and super clear so so it feels safe for you to access their love. So when I'm talking about angels, I'm talking about these divine beings who love you unconditionally. One of the ways that I love talking about the angels that my teacher, Kyle Gray, one of my angel teachers, talks about is that the angels are the heartbeats of God. So imagine God, source, as a huge heart, and every time God's heart beats, an angel is created. I mean, how beautiful is that? It's like, whoa. So if we think about the angels as the heartbeats of God, they're just pure. They're pure love. And all they're here to do is bring love. That's it. They're literally sending you love all the time. So our job as humans is to make that, open up the channels, open up our intuition, our energy body, our hearts and minds to that love. The love is real. The love is constant. The love is always there. So what I do as an angel coach is I help you open to that love through a daily practice, a daily angel practice. And so if we think about the angels as these divine beings of unconditional love, they love you unconditionally. They're the heartbeats of God. And they're always here, sending you love, embracing you in love, radiating love, all of that. How can we access that love to heal the pain, the issues in the tissues? Thank you, angels. And so I'm here to serve earth angels, empaths, and cycle breakers. Those beautiful souls who I was crying before I got on. So now I have the post-nasal drip. I was releasing. Who are here to become channels of love, to step into the invitation to be a channel of love. And it's through our challenging experiences, through our pain, through our karma, the trauma, that we can shift into those heavy, leaden, painful experiences and turn those into portals for that love to flow in. Rumi has a quote, "The wound is where the light enters." And I like to say the wound is also where the light pours out. So for me, what happened to me and how I got connected with the angels and angel healing and all of that was my initiation. I had previous initiations which I realized weren't alchemized. They weren't processed. They weren't transformed. And so I had to have a big initiation of going to the psych hospital after my daughter was born as my opening. And I remember when I was actually, what made me cry when I was praying about this video was sitting with the parts of me that were in so much pain back in 2006 and in 2007. That dark night of the soul time, because I went to the psych hospital, and then the time after the psych hospital was just a time, it was very heavy as I was processing why I landed in the psych hospital, being a brand new mom, figuring out what the heck I'm doing with my life and my journey and all of that. And it was painful. And so I felt lost, I felt confused, I felt heavy. There was a lot of shame, there was a lot of judgment, but ultimately, I made a commitment to myself to heal myself naturally. Because when I got out of the hospital, they said to me, "Well, you have bipolar." That's what they diagnosed me with. And I said, "I'm not bipolar." My brother was bipolar. My dad might have been, although he died very young, so no, and he never had a diagnosis, not that I know of. But I knew that in my heart, and there's nothing, that's a serious diagnosis, and I don't take it lightly because my brother suffered from it. But I just knew that didn't feel right. Like there was no signs of it before, although I know it can sometimes get triggered around the mid-20s. I knew that wasn't right for me, and I said, I don't know what the heck I'm doing other than I'm a mom and a yoga teacher and a massage therapist, but I have to heal this naturally. And so I went on a mission of trying to heal myself naturally. I did everything they said to do. I went to therapy. I took the medication. The medication didn't feel like it was helping me, so I weaned off of it with the doctor. It wasn't in alignment for me. And I was like, I want to do flower essences and I don't know, just something. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I was like, and so I found this really cool integrative she was a healer and a psychologist together. And, some of the prescriptions were like positive thinking, and there were other aspects of it. There was flower essences and positive thinking, and also processing. I hadn't processed all the trauma that I had been through as a child. My stressful, chaotic, childhood and upbringing leading up to my father being murdered. And then carrying the weight of all of that, feeling parentified at a young age, just all the things. So let me see where I was. I lost track. Yeah, my opening. So I went on a mission to heal myself naturally, and to build a team of people to help me do that. And I did. And I leaned more into my yoga. I was like, you know what? I've got this awesome tool. I've got yoga. Let me just start doing it every day. Because at that time, I wasn't doing it every day. I would take a class, but I didn't commit to that daily. Every day, I'm going to do something to heal myself. Every day, I'm going to do something to ground, to relax, to center. And it took a huge storm, a huge initiation, right? A breakdown, nervous breakdown, if you will, to get me to that breakthrough. And so the light at the end of the tunnel for me of my dark night of the soul, thank God my dark night of the soul only lasted 9 months, although it's fascinating how 9 and the number 9, this is a universal year 9, has showed up in my journey. My excuse me, dark night of the soul was 9 months. I worked at this one company, yoga studio company, for 9 months before actually getting fired, which that is a really cool story I'll tell you about another day. Intensely laid off, if you will. That was a huge initiation, actually, into another step into the angels. And that was in 2017, I think. 2016. And then I was with my spiritual teacher for 9 years. I studied energy medicine with one teacher. Then I found a couple other teachers while I was still with that same teacher for 9 years. So I kind of feel like I have a PhD in energy medicine. But remember, when I went into it, it was for me. It was for my healing, for my recovery from PTSD. So I realized at some point that I didn't have bipolar. I had PTSD. I had post-traumatic stress disorder. Because my nervous system was jacked from all the unprocessed trauma. And that's what I do with my clients, is I help them process that trauma with the love of their angels, with a daily angel practice, and with amazing energy medicine skills and tools that I both apply to them, for them, and then also teach them too. So it's really cool. So how I started getting connected with my angels was my first spiritual teacher. Her name is Billy Topatate. She's still teaching. She's a beautiful Native American teacher, and I want to tell you this little synchronicity. So when I found her, actually I found her, we found each other. I was a massage therapist, and she was offering continuing education hours, because I needed, as a massage therapist, to have so many CE hours, continuing, used to call them CEUs, continuing education units or whatever, to keep my massage license. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. And I was like, Billy, her name is Billy, Billy Topatate. Well, here's the thing. My father, who was also Native American, his name was Billy. And I thought, holy cow, this is like, I didn't know about synchronicities or divine or angels. Like, now I say it's all divine, but I didn't say it then. I was just like, wow. I think I'm supposed to like take this class, Bob. And he was like, take a class? Yeah. Because at that point I was like depressed, and I was like, ugh. I was just in a really very like dark night of the soul. And he was like, oh, you want to take a class and you're going to get hours for it? And oh, it's in Evanston. It's right down the street. He's like, yeah, go. I'll watch Claire. I'm like, really? I can go to a class? He was like, yeah. And I was like, sign me up. And I took the first class. I honestly don't even remember what my first class was. I just remember it being awesome, and I loved it so much. And I was like, this place is awesome. This teacher is awesome. And she's like, oh, you should come on Friday nights to the Friday night. We do, a loving kindness meditation every Friday night. It's free. It's open to the public. And I was like, oh yeah, like I am going to come. So anyway, there's so much more to that story. But she would always say in all the classes, she would do a prayer before we started the class. And the prayer was, thank you, angels and ancestors and spirit guides. She was big into spirit guides. Everything was spirit guides, this and spirit, great spirit. She spoke of God and source as great spirit. And for someone who has religious trauma, I had religious trauma. I haven't even talked about that yet. That's something that'll be, over the time I'll talk more about it. Great spirit resonated with me, and I had the Native American background, and I was like, oh, that great spirit, yes, that resonates. And so she'd always talk about her spirit guides and guardian angels and ancestors, and I was like, what is it felt good, but I didn't understand it. And then I loved the class, and I would feel good, and I would come home, and I would be all happy for a while, and Bob would be like, was it a good class? Like, what did you learn? Like, and I'm like, oh, I loved it so much, and this is what I learned, and oh, I'm excited to, do this or do that. And he was like, okay, great. When's the next class, And I got all these continuing education hours, and it pulled me up and out of that dark night of the soul. And right around the same time she was going to offer Reiki Master. And I was like, I actually studied Reiki in massage school. Can I take the Reiki Master? Am I ready for it? She's like, Jill, you're a master. And I was like, really? I don't feel like a master. She goes, you're totally ready for this. And she did, because I had taken 1, 2, and 3 with another teacher, I had to retake it with her through a video series, which was cool, just to kind of there were a couple more symbols I didn't have and everything like that. But then I was ready for Reiki Master. So in 2007, I took my Reiki Master level 1. I went on to take 6 levels with the same teacher. So I actually have 6 levels of Reiki Master. And it was just such a gift. So I wanted to share that with you today, and how I got into the angels, how I eventually learned that they were the heartbeats of God as I kept, getting more teachers and getting more involved. And I think as we go, I'll share more, but this feels good for today. So the Angelic Alchemist membership is open. It's funny because yesterday I was so excited, and I'm like, what's an alchemist? And I was talking about all this stuff, and then somebody was making comments on the chat that distracted me. And afterward, I was just like, and so I talked with my business people, and I was like, okay, I'm going to turn the live chat off so I'm not distracted. And I'm really glad I did that. So I love you all, and thank you for being here. Those who are here live, those who are going to watch the replay. If you notice I'm a little calmer today, that's probably why, because that was actually distracting me from getting the message and the medicine out. Also, I have a very intense time clock person that wants all these to be super short and sweet so everyone will watch them and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I felt like, okay, that was a manager taking over. Just trust my soul. And that's what this is about, right? The courage is trusting my soul to lead. And it's not about the time, it's about the presence that I bring. And some days will be shorter and some days will be longer, and it's all divine. So I'm just seeing if there's anything else that I needed to say to kind of close that story. So yeah, that was really my first experience with the angels, with my team, was in these classes with my spiritual teacher, because she was always invoking them, always inviting them, and then eventually teaching us how to do that. So actually, I really have a PhD in how to invoke, how to create a sacred space by inviting the angels. And so in the Angelic Alchemist membership, you're going to learn how to do this, because it's called the Angelic Alchemist membership because you're the Angelic Alchemist. I'm teaching you. I'm giving you tools, archangel activations, to become the alchemist yourself. So you can take whatever pain, karma, trauma, pain, and turn it into peace, turn it into wisdom, turn it into the gems of the journey. And so I'll leave it at that today. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. And remember to invite your angels to guide, surround, direct, and protect you, because they love you so much and they're always sending you love. Okay, see you next time. Bye. See you tomorrow.